Christine Brennan stepping up to defend Caitlin Clark. Recently, the co-owner of the Washington Mystics said Caitlin shouldn't be Athlete of the Year. She also defended Caitlin's statement about elevating the black people. Let's break down why Christine's words matter and what this all means for Caitlin.
Christine, good to see you. Should other players have been included in this honor? Should she have had the cover solo? Again, it's not like it was voted on by all the fans or analysts. It's Time's decision.
You know, Laura, I am a big fan of Sheila Johnson. I know Sheila very well. She is a great role model, leader, owner, a terrific, successful, wonderful person. I have no idea why she said what she said. It is of course, the player, the athlete of the year, and it's not the league of the year or the team of the year. Caitlin Clark deserves that. There's no doubt that Caitlin Clark, the impact that she had on the league was extraordinary. The TV ratings, the attendance, the sellouts, even Sheila Johnson's own team, the Washington Mystics, moved their 2 Indiana Fever games from the 4,200-seat arena to the 20,000-seat arena, and in September had the biggest crowd in WNBA history because of Caitlin Clark. And Sheila Johnson knows that. I understand, as I've covered this story and continue to write it and work on it in the book, I understand the issues. And I understand the issue she's getting at. But why she chose that, where Caitlin has these great answers in the Time magazine piece, she talks about her adoration for and respect for the role models, the black women, the 70% black league. She grew up idolizing Maya Moore with the Minnesota Lynx. As a girl, she went up there and watched her play and got a chance to hug her when she was a little kid, talks about Maya Moore all the time. Caitlin has been nothing but great on this issue of the black women who have made the WNBA what it is.
She actually talks about, in part, and people don't also agree with that, what you said, that they think she's been gracious throughout. Some people really criticize her as perhaps disingenuous about that, or that she was out of touch initially and did not have the right statements to make. But then there was the comment she made that, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. She goes on to talk about this very notion. Megyn Kelly called those comments condescending and fake. And then you had this moment from Cheryl Swoops.
Sure, when you hear that, thoughts on Caitlin Clark saying she wants to use her platform to elevate black women in the WNBA have been instrumental, obviously, in building that league to what it is. Okay.
I mean, I guess that says it all. But what kind of position is Clark in? Is it a damned if she does, damned if she doesn't? Or is there more that as the platform that she has, does it dictate she must do more?
Well, I think she's done a lot. And you made the point, yes, the people wanted to hear more early on, but she said it. I mean, it was in mid-June where she said, don't use me for the hate and some of the things that were out there on the internet. And by the way, as we know, the cesspool that is Twitter, X, I'm certainly not saying it's okay, but it hits everybody. It hits you, me. Caitlin, of course, black players in particular were targeted on Twitter.
Yeah.
That is a fact. Caitlin acknowledged that and said, cut it out. She said that in June. So, you know, it wasn't just recently that she said it.
Let's go to September, though. I have to ask you, because back in September, Caitlin Clark was caught in the eye by DeJounte Carrington. I remember, Janae, and you asked her about the foul after the game. Sure. You got criticism about your line of questioning. I remember that quite well. And in the Time interview, they addressed it. Clark told the magazine, never once did that cross my mind that it was on purpose. I've been poked in the eye many times playing basketball. It happened. The whole line of questioning that Carrington got was not appropriate, and I did not like that. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, well, she has every right to say that. I've interviewed Caitlin Clark, talked to her, asked some tough questions. She never shies away from hard questions or questions that could be perceived to be hard or somewhat controversial. So my experience with Caitlin is that she is very accepting of hard questions. My questions to DeJounte Carrington were actually meant as a conduit for her to clear the air. As athletes know this, as a journalist, you ask. This was out there. It was a huge issue about what happened, why it happened, and I asked a specific question and a follow-up to give her that opportunity, as I have done hundreds of times, probably thousands of times with athletes. And if I would ask a male athlete those two questions, Laura, why on earth wouldn't I ask a female athlete? This is a big-time sport. This is the national news. It is, I take it very seriously, respect these athletes, respect DeJounte Carrington enough to ask those questions so that she can get the chance to answer it, clear the air, deal with the issue as she wants. And that's what we do as journalists. And For example, with Caitlin, she was then asked not long after, what did she think? Was it intentional or not? And she said, no, it was not intentional. Well, the only way we know that is because someone asked. That was not me. I think journalists provide that opportunity for these athletes. I did for Carrington. I've done, obviously, for Caitlin, and I would do it again, anytime, always.